Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're doing something a little bit different, and for the first time, I'm actually doing a bit of a how-to video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things within the game, sort of directed at the newer players that have a lot of questions, that are struggling with team building, don't know what characters to sort of hang on to, and sort of how to sort of develop your account in a cost-effective and time-effective way. So in today's video, we are going to touch on a few things, and we're going to be going through a lot. It's going to be like a little bit of a box showcase as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to mention them in the comment section below. While you're down there, make sure to smash that like button for me. It helps me out a great deal. And if you are new to the channel and you're enjoying what you see, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button for daily intakes of OPTC content. But in today's video, we will be touching on a few things, and what we're going to sort of be touching on is these things here. Now, I'm going to try and sort of go into them as much detail as possible without sort of chewing your ear off, but there will be timestamps in the description below, so feel free to sort of click on the timestamp, head to the sort of area that you guys want to look at more, and what sort of area you guys are struggling with. But basically in today's video, we're going to talk about team building, what sort of units and stuff you want to be looking at putting on teams, how to sort of put together a team, what you want to be looking for within the characters and sort of the icons and stuff like that. We're going to talk about selling units and what you shouldn't do, like big mistakes that most people make, and what you want to try and avoid doing in the future when you are selling units. We're going to take a look at the sort features. That's going to come under the team building. We're going to take a look at the raid shop, the coin shop, the raid collective archive, the gather islands. We're going to talk about limit breaking characters. We're going to talk about cotton candy. We're going to talk about what are good sockets, what are good tomes. We're going to talk about easy ways to special level your characters, how to get supports up, what the quality of life the units you want to be looking for, and then basic account leveling and character leveling and stuff like that as well. So let's start with team building. So when it comes to team building, you sort of want to look at a few different things. So ideally, when it comes to team building, you're going to have a captain. Now, most captains, you want to be looking at their captain ability, which is just this little button here, the little details button, and it'll basically tell you what they do if they are a captain. Now, there are some really good rainbow captains, basically like Roger. You have Shank's crew, stuff like that. Captains that basically boost your crew without having any conditions. So Roger, for example, his captain ability is a flat rate 4.5 for everyone's attack. It just says boost crew's attack by 4.5. If we have a look at another team now, we have a look at someone like the new Versa, Kanu, and Ace. If we have a look at Ace's special, he states that he's boost shooter and free spirit characters by 5 times. Very, very strong captain ability, by the way. But how do you know what characters to put on the team? So when you are sort of sifting through your character box, there are a bunch of filters over here. So if you click on this filter button up the top here, you can actually select what characters you're looking for. Now when it comes to Ace's captain ability, you need free spirit units, and you can use shooter units. Now don't get me wrong, you can put other units on the team, but ideally the units that are going to work best with this captain, as stated in his captain effect, are free spirit and shooter units. Once you guys select that, it'll filter all of the characters that have that tag in your character box, which is really, really handy when you are team building, right? You can sort of just automatically sift to free spirits and shooters, and then you're good to go. Now, in OPTC, there is no one team beats everything. It's not like Dokkan in the sense that you can sort of just build a team and you're basically free, like, you're good to go after that, right? In Dokkan, you sort of want to just try to chuck all your best units on. Once you've done that, you're pretty much good to beat that particular piece of content, provided there's not too much else going on within that piece of content. I do understand that it's a bit more complex in Dokkan, but I'm just using that as an example. In OPTC, there isn't a team that can beat everything. So let's hypothetically look at some of the best units in the game, right? Let's take Roger, for example. Odin's a very, very good unit. Let's just chuck on a Kanu versus Ace. Let's chuck on Luffy Sanji, and let's chuck on Kaido, for example. Now, all of these units are top tier units. All very, very good Sugo Fest exclusives. The highest rarity in the game. They've all max limit broken. They're all like limit break keyed. They've all got a lot of stats. But when it comes to team building, you do need to focus on synergy. Now, Kaido has absolutely no synergy with Roger as a captain. His special doesn't boost any of Roger's tags, strength, dex, and in characters, which Roger is not. So ideally, you don't want to be putting a character like that on your Roger team. So when it comes to Roger, obviously you have the freedom to put any character on the team. He's still going to get boosted, but that doesn't mean the special is going to inherently help that team. If we have a look at this Ace team that I have built, this was the team that I used to actually beat the Hawkins Forest. If we have a look at Sabo and Koala, another very good unit, they're special states that changes block orbs and unfavorable to matching, and then boost free spirit and cerebral characters by 2.25. Now with Ace's captain ability, he actually boosts free spirit units, which is great. He's also an orb booster for free spirit units, so therefore Sabo Koala has very, very good synergy with this particular unit, as you can do a lot of things. Now, obviously, when it comes to team building for different pieces of content, you do need to look at what the content does. So if we take the Hawkins Forest, for example, there is a mechanic where you get your orbs sealed, and bringing a character like Bonnie works really, really well, as her special actually changes all slots into recovery, and that way you can actually lock them. Say, for example, the content has a defense up remover. So if we head over to our filters once again, we can sort by shooters and free spirits, because Ace is a shooter free spirit captain. And then we can head down here to special. Now, the filters help you out significantly when it comes to team building. And as I mentioned, one team will not beat everything, so just slapping the best units on the team is not going to get around all the debuffs in the game. Now, in the game, there are a few debuffs that you do want to sort of take note of. And if you scroll down here to reduce status effect, this is where you can find most of the debuffs the enemy puts on you. So there's a thing called Bind. What it does is it basically stops you from attacking with that unit. Despair will lock your captain's ability, so your captain ability won't be active. Paralysis has a chance that you won't attack. Special Bind means you can't use the special of that character. Burn means you do more damage. Sorry, you take damage if you hit it perfect. Attack down reduces your attack. The little hand symbol is you take more damage. Decreased chain multiplier. Every time you hit a perfect, if you guys don't know, you build up your chain multiplier ending at 2.5. The last hit is always going to do more damage. So that actually works really, really well. But with most units, you don't have to worry about that too much. But again, we'll talk about that in a bit. You've also got poison, recovery bind, and a whole bunch of other defects. So say, for example, the content states that we need to bring someone that gets rid of paralysis, and we need someone that can get rid of defense down. So we can scroll down here, and we can go to paralysis. We can have a look at the units. Now we've got all the free spirit, we've got all the shooter units that all remove paralysis. All these unit specials will actually remove paralysis, which is really, really nice. But say we also need a unit that can remove defense up. We can scroll to this enemy effect duration, and we have all these enemy effects, things that the enemies like to put on themselves, and things that you want to remove so you can actually output some damage. So say the enemy has 5 turns of defense up, we click enemy defense up, we then go to our box, and then we can have a look at all of the free spirit and shooter units that you have acquired, and that way you can actually pick a unit, put them on the team to satisfy that particular piece of content. Now for my JP players out there, guys that sort of find it hard to actually use these filters, because obviously it's all in Japanese, and if you don't speak Japanese, it can be a little bit tricky. So there is a really, really good tool. If you head over to the Optc database, which I will leave a link in the description. Most of you guys know about this, but as I mentioned, this is more for beginner players. There is a website, it's called the One Piece Treasure Cruise database, obviously, shout out to them. And what you can actually do on this database is you can search up any character you like. So if we just type in Luffy, for example, if we hit Luffy, it's going to bring up literally every Luffy in the game. You can go down here and you can sort through the Luffys and have a look at what they all do. But on JP, say for example, you need, again, you're running an ace team, that verse ace, we're just going to use him for now. We obviously need our shooters and we need our free spirit unit, so we can click both of those tags. And then we can scroll down here to special ability filters, scroll all the way down till we find defense up removal, enemy increased defense reducer. We can click on that and it's going to bring up every single unit in the game that can actually do that. With that, you can sort of sift through, you can choose what character you want to use, you can sort of look at what good characters there are, and what's going to help you guys take down that particular piece of content. So the filter aspect in the game helps out a lot, especially if you guys are using stuff like YouTube videos. Make sure to check me out if you guys need some help. So you know what I'm saying. Hit that subscribe button, because why not? You know. But it does help you guys out if you are looking for different options. Say, for example, a content creator uses a character you guys don't have, and you look up what that character does. Let's say, hypothetically, we're looking at Usohachi is on a team, but you don't have Usohachi, and you need someone that can remove defense up, damage reduction, and threshold. You can easily head over to the filters here, and we can go defense up, damage reduction, threshold, and it'll bring everyone up. Unfortunately, in the free spirit and shooter tag, Usohachi is the only one. So that way we can sort of make it available to every character. Oh, hang on, I've still got Usohachi on, that's why it's coming up with only Usahachis. Sorry about that. So it'll bring up all those characters. You can then sort even more free spirit and shooters, And that way you sort of have a little bit more options in terms of what characters you want to use and what characters you can actually replace on the actual team. So make sure to use it. It is a very, very good tool when you are team building. And just remember that one team doesn't beat everything. So make sure that you are sort of leveling up all of your units and have a look around. Don't be afraid to jump into our Discord too. I'll leave that in the link in the description too. If you have some questions about what units are very, very good, you can easily ask them over there. We have a lot of really helpful people. But what else are we going to talk about today? So we've talked about team building. And when it comes to units that you summon for, you really don't want to sell a lot of them. So a lot of the summonable units are very, very good. And ideally, you want to get your hands on one of every single unit. But once you guys do get some dupes, you can actually start using these dupes to level up your other characters. But there is a feature in-game. Oh, that's not the right button. There is a feature in-game called the Bazaar, which is called the Rayleigh's Bazaar. Now, if I actually take this down, you guys will be able to see it here. At the Rayleigh's Bazaar, you can trade characters for points. Now, most characters are worth 300. Most Sugos are worth 5,000 points. And with this Rayleigh's Bazaar, you can actually buy different types of items in the game to just help you guys bolster your account. Now, most of these items aren't amazing for most players, but depending on what you guys are missing in terms of skill books or tomes, cotton candy, rumble scrolls, all that sort of stuff is going to help you guys bolster your account and sort of max out as many units as you possibly can. However, I highly recommend, I cannot stress this enough, I highly recommend saving at least one of every single unit. That way, if the opportunity pops up that you really, really need this unit, you are going to have access to this unit, whether it's for treasure map because they're a booster, whether it's a particular piece of content that's super niche and you need that character. Every single character in this game has a place somewhere. Yes, there are some dookie characters. Yes, there are some god tier characters. But I cannot stress it enough that there is not one team that beats all content. So whenever you pull a new character, make sure to save at least one copy. But, Stump, what do I do with all my dupes? What do I do with these 10 Shanks crews that I pulled and I can't do anything with them? Well, the game has a thing called Limit Break. And what Limit Break is, it is a very, very expensive way of leveling up your units even more. And you probably notice most of my units have this sort of rainbow border. That's because I've maxed them out. So once you guys have leveled up your characters, you've leveled them all the way up to the top. They're all level 99. You've evolved them into their highest form, whether it's 5 or 6 star, depending on the unit. Sugos are 6 stars. Regular rare recruits are 5 stars. Same with most free-to-play units. But once you've done that, you can actually go into Limit Break. Now, this Limit Break feature unlocks a lot of potential within a particular unit. Limit Break isn't essential, however. It basically gives the unit some active abilities. It gives the unit a lot more stats, which is really, really nice. But other than that, it's not incredibly essential to fully max Limit Break a character. With the early game players, I usually recommend going to this orb right here. Now, it's a bit hard to see, actually. I'll see if I can find a unit that hasn't been limit broken. But basically, once you sort of get... Here we go. Once you sort of get all these nodes unlocked, you can start unlocking certain abilities. Now, I always recommend getting all your characters, especially if you have dupes and you're doing some box clearing, to actually get to the first socket. To get to the first socket, it normally doesn't take that much limit break materials, which are pretty hard to come by, I must say. They really only found in Treasure Map, which is a very grindy game mode, and it's not exactly everyone's cup of tea. So you do want to be scarce with these limit break materials and sort of only max the characters that you're either using for Rumble or for the content that is at hand. But if you do need to clear out your box, I usually recommend getting to this first active ability. Once you guys get to that first active ability, it's going to unlock these potential abilities. Once you get a dupe of the character, you can actually feed that dupe of the character in, and that way you can unlock an ability. I just want to see if there's a character here that I can actually do that to. I don't know if there is. I don't think I have one, unfortunately, but if we have a look at this Luffy here, if you head over to Limit Break, we can unlock these nodes, and once you do that, you can unlock different abilities for the characters, and you can unlock some more stats, and it just makes the character better overall. Now that I've unlocked my Luffy to the second node, I can now start adding potential abilities. Now, Luffy has pinch healing and recovery blind, but if you get a dupe of the character, it's automatically going to give you a guaranteed level up to one of these abilities. So when it comes to rare recruits, definitely don't waste your tablets on like rare recruit characters. Make sure you're using your tablets on Sugos and characters that you like to use a lot. But once again, I can't stress enough that I wouldn't just go limit breaking all of the best characters in the game, because there may be a time where you limit break one of the best characters in the game, but then you just don't use him for the next 3 months, when you may need those limit break materials to actually limit break another character and sort of use that character in content that is a little bit more relevant. So make sure you're hanging on to those limit break crystals. Make sure you're hanging on to those potions. The potions are the big ones as well. Once you get a character and you go into limit break options, to unlock the nodes, you basically need to get your hands on these potions here. Now again, these potions only really drop in treasure map. There is another way to get them, but we are going to talk about that towards the end of the video. But these potions I find on my JP account are very hard to come by. And with the amount of units in the game, it is very, very scarce on what you want to use them for. Once you get your limit break materials, which are these little crystals and shards for each color, you can then level up your characters and limit break them. But like I said, I would try and save them, get to like the level 4 limit break, and that way you can actually use your dupes, and that way you can actually clear out your box just a little bit nicer. The next thing we're going to talk about when it comes to characters is special level. Now, special level is very, very important, as it helps reduce the amount of special charge that character has. So if we take a look at this Akainu, for example, he's on a 12 turn cooldown when you max him with his limit break. Now that means that his special, whatever he does for his special, is going to be available after 12 turns. Once you get the character, they always start at special level 1, so ideally he's starting at like 18 turns, and you really want to bring that down so that way you can actually beat content a bit quicker, you don't have to stall for as long, and that way it just makes your run a lot smoother. Now, to get special levels is very similar to getting potential abilities. If you use a dupe of a character, you're going to get a bunch of things. You're going to get a guaranteed potential ability, you're going to get a guaranteed socket, and you're going to get a chance of getting a special level. Now, special levels can also be leveled up differently by using these little books. Now, this is an Absolute Almighty Manual, which means it's guaranteed to give me a level. We then have a regular Almighty Manual, which can be used on any character and has a chance to level. And then you have the book for that particular character. Now, I just want to see if I've actually got a book. Where'd that Luffy go? I know I've got those Luffy books. You can actually get your hands on manuals for that particular character. And these are farmable in like fortnights and in different events on Extra Island. I might talk about that in a later video if this video has some good reception. But ideally, you just want to try and get the manuals for these particular characters and save your Almighty manuals and your Almighty, Absolute Almighty manuals for your Legend characters that are a little bit harder to come by than these particular manuals, which just pop up for rare recruits a little bit more frequently. Another thing when it comes to characters, leveling up your characters, is you have Cotton Candy. Now, Cotton Candy at the moment on Global is a bit of a weird one, as on JP it actually stacks, and then you have a slider, which is really, really nice. But Cotton Candy takes up a lot of box space, and ideally as a new player, you want to either use it on good characters, or you want to stockpile it. And a good way to stockpile it is to actually find these little pigs. Okay, pig doesn't work. I was really hoping pig would work. Oh no, it may work. No, okay, it doesn't work. You can actually get your hands on these pigs. Now, these pigs you can put your cotton candy into, get them to plus 100 of HP, attack, or recovery, and then that way you can actually feed the pig into the character, and the cotton candy will transfer over. Now, once we get the cotton candy slider on Global, this is not really going to matter, but for the meantime, if you're looking for a way to get more box space, feed these pigs, which you can pick up from that Rarities Bazaar we spoke about earlier. They're like 1 point or something like that. And then you can just put all your cotton candy into them. That way you just max them out and then feed them across, just saving you a hell of a lot of box space. Alright, how are we going for these checklists? Okay, beautiful. The last thing we're going to talk about when it comes to characters is tomes. So tomes and sockets. Now, each character, as you guys will kind of see here, they have an ability. Now, these abilities can be leveled up. And you guys can actually choose what abilities you want on the particular character, utilizing these funky looking things here called, well, you can use any sort of character that has the same name. That's another way to actually get one. So any Luffy going into Luffy will give him a tome, but you can actually use these tomes here. These called forbidden tomes. Now, these actually give you one of any random power, and the powers are auto heal, slot bind, slot chance, special charge time, extra healing, resilience, damage reduction, bind resistance, despair resistance, map damage resistance, and poison resistance. Now, when it comes to maxing these characters, there is sort of 5 that you want to focus on, and I'm just going to feed some sockets into a character just to so you guys can get like a better idea. Where is, again, it's a bit hard being a whale because like I've sort of got everything done, but where's that Luffy character? So, alright, another thing you can do as well is there is a search bar up the top, so you can just type in whatever character you're looking for, quickly find that unit, and then you can sort of select what you want to do. So when we go to this Luffy, we're going to add these tomes. So we're going to add a whole bunch of tomes to him, try and give him some more powers. And that way it's actually going to help your team when you go into a particular event. Now, ideally, when you guys are building your characters and you're building for tomes, ideally you want to have this left side here, the bind, despair, auto heal, charge specials, and damage reduction. They're the big 5, but some other characters will use other stuff like recovery boost or slot rate boost. As for poison, map, and resilience you're never going to use, don't ever worry about that. But poison is pretty niche, and it's really only used for like one particular piece of content, which you don't need it for, but it definitely helps. So ideally, you want to max this left-hand side for most of your units, as that's sort of the most, or the best sort of sockets that you're going to use. So once we've sort of built our team and we're ready to go into an event, I'm actually just going to hop into the event that is out at the moment on Global, the farming event, which is this team here. So once we've done that, we can select the content we want to do. We've built our team, we have our sockets, we have all that ready to go. But before we jump into an event, we actually pick a friend captain. Now, the friend captain system is a little bit annoying, and if you guys are looking for better friends, please don't hesitate to join the Discord. Everybody is welcome. There's a lot of really good people there that will add you guys and help you guys out. So once we've done that, we want to sort of select a captain that has good synergy with our team. Ideally, you just want to run the same captain that you've built the team for, and then you can actually look at your active powers. Now, these are those sockets that we were just looking at before, and this is sort of telling us what we have. So level 3 damage reduction requires us to have 15 damage reduction sockets. And as you guys saw when I was building up that Luffy, you can have up to level 5 on each of your characters. What that means is Luffy is giving us 5 damage reduction. Another character on the team is giving us another 5. Another character is giving us another 5, and then another character is giving us 1. Ideally, you want to have level 2 special charge just to make things a little bit quicker, but again, it's more quality of life. Again, we have 26, so therefore we have 5 characters that have 5, and then 1 character that has 1, or something like that. Bind resistance is really, really good. It reduces bind by 3 turns, as well as despair resistance, which is amazing. Again, you want to try and have level 20 on that. But as you can see, with this particular team that I've built here for this event, I actually have like an odd number. Now, you don't have to have everyone have level 5 despair, auto heal. You don't need that. As long as you guys are getting to the 24, as long as you're getting to the 20, that will be fine for your team. So don't go just throwing a whole bunch of sockets in, trying to get 5, 5, 5, and having all your characters perfect, because sometimes it's really not needed. And that goes the same for special levels. Special levels are great, but ideally you just want the whole team to be sort of on the same special charge. That way you can sort of pop all your specials at the same time, and your burst turn is going to be a lot more effective. A lot more effective. So other than that, we sort of touched on team building. So make sure you do never sell units. The sorting features, as you guys saw in the edit crew system, you guys can sort of sift through characters, or you can use the database. As I mentioned, this database is really, really handy for new players, especially JP players. I use it a lot. There's also, if you head to the, if you head back to the start as well, there's also like a damage calculator and a whole bunch of other really, really good features on the website as well. So make sure you guys are using that if you guys need to build teams, especially on Japan. So we spoke about the raid shop. We've spoken about sockets and tomes, special levels. The next thing we're going to talk about is some of the features in... actually, no, sorry. We're going to talk about supports quickly. So the last thing that characters have besides their limit break, their sockets, their special level, is support. Now, supports are really, really nice, but I highly recommend not leveling up supports unless you need that support. Now, to level up support supports, you click the support effects, and you get these little medals. It's another thing, if you have a dupe, it'll just give you a guaranteed support, provided you've unlocked the support on that character. But I wouldn't be using... Oh my god, I've got this up still. Sorry. I wouldn't be using these support medals unless you really, really need that support for that particular piece of content. Don't just go throwing these in willy-nilly, because they're not exactly easy to come by. And I will sort of touch on where to get all of these items in a little bit. But these don't come around too often, and make sure you're only using these when you guys need that support. So we've got the basic ones that has a low chance to level up. We have the medium ones, and then we have the guaranteed. So the easiest way to get these sort of items, whether it's tomes, whether it's the cola to level up your ships, that's another thing that we probably should touch on, as well as the ships. So once you guys unlock some ships, you can use, I don't have any ships that I can level up, but you can see this cola in the top right hand corner. Once you guys get cola, you can unlock ships, and you can level them up, and then they do a whole bunch of different things. Again, that's probably for another video if you guys want to touch on that, but basically there is a ship guide up on the channel, I think. I think most, some other YouTubers have done one as well. So just type in that if you're looking for the best ships to be leveling up. But to get your hands on tomes, to get your hands on cola, to get your hands on special USB sticks or the books, the best place to do that is through Kizuna. Now, Kizuna is a game mode that only comes around like once a month, very similar to Treasure Map. Treasure Map is the best place to get your hands on stuff like limit break crystals, on stuff like keys, and to get your hands on stuff like tablets. It's just based around the limit break system. Kizuna, however, is based on like a free-to-play character as well as Treasure Map. But then you have this item shop where you can actually buy like Proof of Metals, Ultimate Bonds. You can buy Rumble Scrolls, you can buy potions, and every time you beat Kizuna, you get tickets to unlock these chests, and these chests have things in them, whether it's belly, whether it's tomes, there's like sockets, there's Rumble Scrolls, there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there, and that is the best way to actually get your hands on most of this stuff. And if you have some really good friends, they can save you, you can do the harder levels, and as I mentioned, head over to our Discord, and you can build up your friend box very, very quickly over there. So that's Kizuna, that's the best place to farm all this sort of stuff. I'm not really going to touch on Rumble in this video. I think Rumble is probably a little bit high-tech for most newer players. Sort of just have a look at some of the Rumble guides online and then level up your characters. Use those Rumble flags to level them up. They look very similar to these sort of items here. And then each sort of character has their own Rumble ability if you click on Rumble stats. And you guys can see what they do there. It's just like a whole nother game mode. But like I said, look up my boy Rumble Scratch if you're looking for stuff like that. He's a big help when it comes to Rumble. What was another thing we were going to talk about in this video? So we spoke about the Ray shop. Now, once you guys have sort of built up a little bit, you do have this coin shop, this metal exchange, if you click here where the banners are. So this is your summoning page. You guys will probably figure that out really quick. It's one of the most fun things to do in the game. In this metal exchange, it does update every month, and new legends come in. Now, I would highly recommend saving these for some of the legends either you don't have, characters you really, really like, or really, really good characters that are quite scarce, like Corazon and Rayleigh and all that sort of stuff. So just be mindful that this is here, but don't go spending these coins willy-nilly. The last thing, oh wow, I had that on that whole time. So if you go to this summoning page, I did it again, sorry chat. So if you head over to this page here and you click on the metal exchange, you'll actually be able to see the characters that are available for this month, and then that way you can spend them. But again, I wouldn't go spending them willy-nilly as that can be a slippery slope for if a character does come around. But we do know the sort of like the routines of these units, so don't be afraid to ask questions. The community is very, very helpful, and make sure to join some Discords and stuff if you guys are looking for a little bit more help. The last thing that the last couple of things that I really want to talk about is leveling up your account and quality of life units. So when you do start the game, if you head over to this this thing called Event Island or Extra Island, there will be a little chopper up here in the corner. Now, Chopper has some quests for you guys. Now, it starts as, what does it start as? Beginner, then it goes Intermediate, then Master. And this is a really good way to get your hands on a lot of very, very good items. You can get a lot of gems. I think you get like 250 gems. You can get a lot of cotton candy. You can get a lot of potions. You can get a lot of limit break materials. And completing all of these quests is going to help build your account up very, very quickly. Now, Chopper unlocks these missions that can actually give you a lot of XP. Now, there's a few quality of life legends that we are going to talk about, and whenever you guys see quests that give you like very good drops but are very easy, you want to be running Buggy, whether you have Legend Buggy yourself or you run a friend. Highly recommend running a friend no matter what, as his captain ability actually doubles the chance of one of the treasures from the quest. So say for example you're doing a mission that is just guaranteed to be like tome drops or is guaranteed to be like potion drops. Sometimes they come around like once a month and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you're running this Buggy so you can just double one of the drops, and it just helps just get you some more gains, you know, a little bit quicker. When you are doing those missions from Chopper, the ones that give you lots of XP, you want to be running a captain that can give you more XP. Whether you use something like Jack, who can double the XP of all the pirate XP you get, that way you can build up your pirate level very, very quickly, and you can actually get a lot more stamina. So my base stamina is at 420. Lol, blaze it. And that way I can just run more content more consistently. When new content comes out, I can grind for the unit a lot easier, and it just helps me out a lot. If you guys don't have Jack and you still are quite new, honestly, you want to try and run a friend Jack, but you can use like a character like this Neptune. His captain ability also gives 1.5 times XP, and then you could run something like this Law. I'm pretty sure they give you this Law at the start of the game. his captain ability gives you 1.2 times pirate XP. So that's another option for you guys when you are doing those missions. But I would highly recommend saving them till you can find a friend Jack. That way you can just level up really, really quickly and just get a lot more stamina for your account. The final unit we're going to talk about in terms of quality of legend is my boy Chopper, little Chopper man. Now, Chopper's captain ability, this is Legend Chopper. He will double the cotton candy that you get through drop. So cotton candy is another good way of getting extra stats on your characters. If you have a look at my Chopper here, he is plus 519. That's because I've given him some extra stats in terms of HP, recovery, and attack. If you have a look at his stats change, I've given him an extra 180 in each of those, which does help out the character do more damage, do more healing, give me more HP, all those nice chunky things. So if you ever are running stuff for cotton candy, make sure, like, if the cotton candy event pops up on Extra Island, make sure you're bringing a friend Chopper. Now, the easiest way to level up in terms of actual account level up is by heading over to here on Extra Island. If you click on this event, you can click on Clash. No, it's not. It's on Power Up, sorry. And if you head over to here in Rookie Character Recruitment Quest, you can actually run this quest against Ground and Pound Usopp. Now, this quest is actually ridiculously easy. I'm actually just going to quickly throw on my Jack team and just sort of show you guys how this event kind of works. So this event's really, really good to pick up a lot of different different materials. Now, there is one ship that I would highly recommend buying in the early stages, which is this ship here. It's called the Ho ship. It costs you 30 gems. You get the mission, run a double buggy or bring Chopper to get more cotton candy drops. With this particular ship, it is a rainbow ship that gives you 1.5 times pirate XP. Sorry, 1.75 pirate XP. Boosts your attack by 1.5 for the entire crew, and it gives a special charge. So it's a really good rainbow ship, and you can use this literally on every single team you run, and that way you guys can maximize some more XP. Once you guys have sort of finished all your Chopper Man missions and you're sort of looking for something to do with your stamina, this particular quest against Usohachi is actually, Ground and Pound Usopp's really, really good. It costs you guys 10 stamina, which is really not a lot to run, and if you can find a friend Jack, or if you have your own Jack, or if you have Neptune, or if you have something like that, you can just sort of blitz your way through this event. As you can see, like, it doesn't take much to kill these units, and if you are running a strong team, you're not going to have too many issues. But I'm just going to quickly blitz my way through this, and then we're going to have a talk about what you want to do with the rewards. So once we do complete this quest, you get stuff like Hime Turtles. That Hime Turtle there is great for leveling up characters. You get a whole bunch of XP as well, which is really, really nice. And you can actually get your hands on the character that is Ground and Pound Usopp, which is this particular character right here. So once we do take him out, we're just going to quickly finish him off here. Okay. Goodbye, Usopp. So once we do finish off Usopp here, we can actually do a lot of things at the end screen. Now, once we hit this end screen, we can actually sell things, or we can just sort of like keep them. So once we get here, if you guys are building up your account, you want to try and get your hands on some belly, and you want to get your hands on some collar. So this collar, this little one here is what I was talking about before to level ships up. These Hime Turtles are great for leveling characters, but I would highly recommend selling them because they sell for a lot of belly. You can sell the manuals as well there. We don't need those. As you can see, I got a whole heap of belly. And once I'm done, and once you've built up a lot of these Ground and Pound Usopps, they're actually great for leveling up the Chopper missions. There's like a lot of missions that like get the character to level 6 special. That's a really good way of actually doing that, as well as evolving them. But once you've got like heaps of them and you don't need them anymore, you can actually head over to here to the Rayleigh's Bazaar, the one we spoke about earlier, and you can actually just sell them for points. Once you start selling them for points, you can start buying stuff from the Rayleigh's Bazaar. It's only a little bit of points, but at least that way you can start building up your account. As this game's sort of not meant to be beaten in like one night, it's sort of a game you sort of work on over time, and you sort of bolster your account, bolster up your box, and just make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Alright, so I think we've touched on pretty much everything now. As sort of what I'm looking at. Like I said, guys, please don't hesitate to ask any questions in the comments. Like I said, I will be leaving timestamps, as we have touched on a lot of different things in today's video. I just sort of wanted to give a breakdown for you guys about what you guys want to be looking at when it comes to the game in terms of leveling up, when it comes to how you should be going about managing your account. I feel like that's probably a better word for it, sort of managing a new account. Once you guys have sort of unlocked Rumble and stuff like that, you will unlock another area called Gather Island. Once you guys unlock this, make sure to check out, I think I have a video up on the channel. You can actually get a lot of good daily rewards. As you can see, I managed to get a gem, you get some belly, you get some friend points. You can activate your limit break cave, you can get some limit break materials every single day. You can get some potions. So I would highly recommend leveling these up, and you get these level up through tickets from Rumble and stuff. But again, that's for another video. I think I have a how-to PvP and an extra island video for you guys as well. Today is sort of more about managing those different things within your account. So when it comes to team building, remember that there is no one team that beats everything. Make sure to keep one of every unit. Do not sell your units just because you don't like the look of them or you think they look crap. Make sure to just keep at least one, so that way you've covered all bases. Make sure to be using the sort features and the OPTC database. Once again, shout out to them. The sorting features just help you guys find so much more options for your teams. Great for finding replacements, and great for sort of sifting through your box a lot quicker. When it comes to limit break, only limit break the characters that you need for that particular piece of content, the ones that you are actually doing. You want to make sure that you are, if you have too many dupes of the unit and you want to use those dupes, just get the character to level 4 on the limit break, and then you can work on them again at the later date. The Rayleigh shop, the coin shop, again, save your coins for some really good units. The Ray shop, be very, very careful with the Ray shop, but just sort of use characters that you sort of farmed up, like you saw that immediately with the Usahachi. The Gather Island's great for getting daily rewards. Make sure you're doing that every day. Your sockets and tomes, you want to be looking at the big 5, Bind, Despair, Auto Heal, Damage Reduction, and Charge specials. Special levels, max them if you can, but make sure to only use the books of the characters, and save your gold and silver, what are they called? Almighty manuals for your legend characters. Supports, only be leveling those supports up for when you actually need the support for that particular piece of content. The quality of life units being Chopper, Buggy, and Jack. Hopefully you guys get your hands on them as quickly as possible. They do help out a lot. Otherwise, make sure you guys are finding some good friends over on our Discord or on some other Discords and whatnot to build up your friend list as quickly as possible. And when it comes to leveling, just play the game. Farm up as much as you can. The Ground and Pound Usopp event is the best way to get like some belly, some cola, some Rayleigh points, and a bunch of XP every single time. Now, the last thing I didn't touch on was the Recollective Archive. The Recollective Archive, you get 200 points every day. I do have a video. I'll leave links to all of those videos in the description below. But basically, you can unlock old content that isn't available at the moment, as the game is on like a rotating schedule. But the Recollective Archive is really, really great because you can just unlock content. So if you see a content creator use a character you don't have, but it's free to play, you'll be able to unlock it there. But that's going to wrap up today's video. A little bit of a long one, but if you have seen it your way all the way to the end here, I appreciate the hell out of you. And don't forget to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lights!